Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22, News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ashley Paul. Thanks for joining us. It's the worst mass shooting in American history. Now a state of emergency declared in Orange County, Florida, following a deadly attack at a nightclub early this morning. Florida Governor Rick Scott declared the emergency following the 2 a.m. shooting at the Orlando nightclub that officials now say has killed 50 people and injured at least 53. A gunman identified as Omar Mir Sadiq Mateen, who federal authorities say had possible ties to terrorism, opened fire at police, and then ran back into the Pulse Orlando nightclub, a gay nightclub which held more than 300 people. Mateen is believed to have had an assault rifle with him and opened fire in the building. Police handled it as a hostage situation before storming the nightclub and killing him. Mateen is a 29-year-old U.S. citizen born in New York to parents of Afghan origin and was a Muslim. Mateen was married in 2009 to a woman who was born in Uzbekistan. Orlando city officials will focus on identifying the victims and notifying the families, and a hotline for concerned family members has also been set up at this number, 407-246-4357. And President Obama making a statement on today's deadly shooting in Orlando, noting that these innocent victims were just out having fun when they became victims of hate.
Today marks the most deadly shooting in American history. The shooter was apparently armed with a handgun and a powerful assault rifle. This massacre is therefore a further reminder of how easy it is for someone to get their hands on a weapon that lets them shoot people in a school, or in a house of worship, or a movie theater, or in a nightclub. And we have to decide if that's the kind of country we want to be. And to actively do nothing is a decision as well.
Local and state officials here in Maine also speaking out about the tragedy, sending their thoughts and prayers to the victims and their families, while also commenting on what needs to be done moving forward. On a state level, Senator Susan Collins releasing a statement saying, quote, "If the FBI's investigation confirms allegations that the attacker pledged his allegiance to ISIS, or if he proves to have been a lone wolf, this attack is yet another stark reminder that the United States is not immune from the threat of violent extremism," end quote. Collins also sending her regards to the loved ones of the victims of the attack. Senator Angus King also releasing a statement saying, quote, "As we remember and mourn those we lost today, let us stand united in the face of hatred and violence. Let us join together to show that, although our hearts may be broken, our love for one another remains strong." King also telling us in a phone interview why attacks like these are difficult to prevent.
At least as far as we know now, it was a single shooter inspired online, and although the FBI has been doing a great job, if they're only 99% effective, something like this can happen. Just a pure tragedy.
Congressman Bruce Poliquin and Congresswoman Shelley Pingree also sending statements with their regards to the victims. Here in Bangor, Council Chair Sean Faircloth speaking out about what we here in Maine and people across the country need to do to stop tragedies like these from continuing to happen.
So I'd encourage people to sort of, as hard as it is, because it's a very emotional time, but to sort of take down the temperature of our conversations and say, let's look at this reasonably and rationally, listen to the so-called other side and say, there is no other side. There is no other side. The only side is to care about Americans and protect Americans.
This shooting happens as Pride Week gets underway in Portland this weekend. Leaders in the Maine LGBT community say these targeted attacks in Orlando hit too close to home. And as Dan Lampariello tells us, they're now working with local law enforcement to make sure events here are safe.
Really hurts my heart, and we'll do anything we can to help with the healing process.
As members of the Portland LGBT community kick off a week to celebrate Pride in the city, a black cloud now hovers over what was supposed to be a joyful week.
We find out the reasoning behind this, if there is even a reason. But yes, it is hard to be festive when so many people are slain.
Early Sunday morning, investigators say a man armed with an assault rifle opened fire inside a primarily gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, killing 50 and injuring more than 50 others.
I never understand why people can't just leave one another alone. I don't understand why they need to harm one another.
It's now considered the worst mass shooting in American history.
It's very close to home for us, the LGBT community. but it wouldn't matter who it is. It's just a heinous act, disgusting. Terrorism.
Here in Portland, Pride events will still run through Friday.
We are blessed with such a supportive community here, whether it's the business owners, the people of Portland. Portland police are always great in helping keep everyone safe, and we expect that to continue and work as we always do with them. Despite this tragedy, the LGBT community says they'll rise above it. We do support one another, especially in tragedy. We'll come together, and I know the people of Portland will support us as well. They've been great.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims and their families affected by these horrendous crimes. Meanwhile, in Eddington on Sunday, an early morning shooting sent one man to the hospital. As TJ Tremble reports, there are still many unanswered questions surrounding the incident.
Around 6 Sunday morning, a man entered a home at 30 Hill Street in Eddington. That man was shot by someone in the house. State police say the person who was shot was known by the shooter, but was not related.
We will be working to determine who owned the weapon, how it got here, and exactly who fired the weapon.
Still, police spent Sunday searching the home and grounds of 30 Hill Street, hoping to find answers to the question of what exactly happened there Sunday morning. Gardner says the victim is in serious condition at a local hospital, and neighbors confirm the person who was shot was a man.
Concerned family members texting and just letting them know that it wasn't us because it was so close to home.
It's too early in the investigation to speculate on a motive for the shooting. There's no indication as to whether any charges will be brought against anyone involved.
What I'm saying is that at 6 o'clock this morning, or approximately 6 o'clock this morning, someone entered the residence. And that's all really I can say about that at this point.
Many people in this neighborhood refuse to talk at all. However, one woman says she was shocked when she heard the news about a shooting Sunday morning in her quiet neighborhood. In Eddington, I'm TJ Tremble, reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And in the wake of the Orlando shooting, as well as the shooting in Eddington early today, our Caitlin Connolly spoke with a firearm instructor about gun safety.
The gun is final. Once the bullet leaves the chamber, it's done. You're not calling it back. There's no room for error. And so it's not simply something that you can keep around the house. You need to be, there's a lot to be taught about how to handle the firearm, how to load the firearm, and how to shoot the firearm.
In light of events nationally and locally, gun safety is on everyone's mind.
I think that, it's become a different society today. It's different certainly even here in the Bangor area. And if you're going to use a gun, if you're going to get a gun, you should get training.
Sunday morning marked the worst mass shooting in our nation's history.
This is an absolutely tragic and horrific event driven by, it looks like, hatred and perhaps mental illness. We don't know. There are many questions unanswered. But right now, we just have to feel for the victims and their families.
We can't predict what others will do, but if you decide to own a gun, you should learn how to use it properly. Firearm instructors say the biggest safety tip they can give you when using a firearm is keeping your finger off the trigger.
Everybody has a right to protect themselves. Everybody has that right. My job is to teach people to become very familiar with their firearm and how to use it responsibly.
Bangor gun dealers are also promoting gun safety.
They're not selling them a gun until they go and they take a safety course.
Instructors say if you choose to use your Second Amendment right, make sure to keep your gun unloaded when not in use, keep it locked up and out of others' hands. In Bangor, this is Caitlin Connolly reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And developing in Lymington tonight, a man is behind bars accused of killing his neighbor. State police say 55-year-old Douglas Flint was reported missing on Friday. Police canines tracked his scent and found his body on Saturday in his neighbor's yard. As Courtney Highfield reports, the suspect is now charged with murder.
State police say Douglas Flint's body was found here yesterday at 540 Ossipee Trail. His neighbor, Bruce Akers, has been taken into custody.
It's pretty shocking that someone right up the road got murdered. It's pretty shocking, especially for around here.
State police say Akers is charged with murder. He was taken into custody Saturday afternoon, just hours after police say they found Flint's body in Akers' backyard.
It's very shocking to hear of anything like that.
People from nearby towns say they rarely hear of violent crimes in this area.
Once in a while you'll see game wardens just making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, no one really doing anything wrong, make sure people are registered. But I mean, I've never heard of any murder up here. Really anything.
State police say an autopsy is being done on Flint's body today, and residents say they're hoping they'll get answers soon.
It's a good community. You can trust leaving your doors unlocked and not worried about people stealing your stuff or violence. I've never heard of anything like this, so it's pretty shocking.
State police say Akers is being held at the York County Jail, and his first court appearance will be Monday.
And one man is in custody tonight after barricading himself inside a Brunswick home late Saturday. Police say they responded to Mere Point Road following a chase that started in Lewiston. It was believed a 35-year-old man was inside and possibly armed. Multiple agencies, including tactical teams, responded and took the man into custody just after 2 o'clock this morning. An AR-15 and a shotgun were both found inside the home. So gloomy days and gloomy weather, hopefully giving way to sunshine coming up soon. Jeff Weller's up next with a full look at your forecast.
Hey Ashley, yeah, we just can't seem to kick these clouds and low temperatures and showers too. Take a look here, you can see the satellite picture, and we are socked in the clouds, and this area of low pressure is just sitting here and spinning, producing more rain, more showers, and more cool